96.5 The Fox, Bismarck Mandan's classic rock station with free beer, hot wings every weekday morning, and we are just a few nights away from Rick Springfield's Stripped Down Tour at the Bell Mayhew Auditorium on May 8th, and the one, the only Rick Springfield. Nice enough to join me on the phone this afternoon. Rick, how are you?
I'm good.
Now, before we talk about the Stripped Down Tour, which is in Bismarck, coming up on May 8th, you just returned from your very own fan getaway in Port St. Lucie, Florida. That must have been a very, very cool time.
It was exhausting. It was great. We went out to Club Med, and it's just us, the fans, and me and the band, and we had Robin Sandler from Cheap Trick come down and sing, and my friend Doug Davidson from Young and the Restless came down and provided the laughs. It was really amazing.
And a lot of bands are doing things like this now where they get kind of up close and personal with their fans, whether it be a show like you did or there's a lot of cruises out there and stuff. Why do you think that a lot of bands are doing that now?
I feel what a great way to connect with the fans and to give you something back. And I think a lot of artists aren't that comfortable being around that close proximity to fans because I'm there the whole 5 days. But I really like it, and I've got great fans that come down are really, really hardcore, and they, a lot of fun to hang with.
Joined on the phone by Rick Springfield, the Stripped Down Tour will be at the Bell on May 8th. And Rick, the Stripped Down Tour is a bit different than maybe other tours people have seen you on. What led you to do this kind of one-man acoustic storyteller show?
Well, I came off me writing my autobiography. I realized I had a lot of stories, and that most of the stories ended up as songs. And I love playing guitar, so I thought it would be a great way to do both. Tell the stories and play guitar. It's a very different set list and very, very different show from the band show, the big band show too. It's real intimate. I can actually talk to the audience, and I really enjoy doing it. It's a very, very different kind of show.
Why do you think the fans have been so receptive to this tour? I mean, you've been out on the road with it for a bit. You've put out a CD and a DVD. Fans really seem to dig this stripped down Rick Springfield.
That's pretty funny. There's a lot of funny stories and some different songs that I play that is, just for this stripped down show, and fun to do. I'm sure. And there's a video screens and a lot of home photos and very, very personal kind of thing. I think the fans like that personal look into my life, because basically it's the arc of my musical life. The whole story of the stripped down show is. That's the first song I ever wrote when I was 15, and the song I wrote especially for the Stripped Down show. So there's a lot of stuff there.
And you actually do, at the end of your concert, you do a special question and answer session. Where did the idea to do that come from? Because you're already telling all the stories, but then you're kind of giving fans the opportunity to ask you something maybe they would never, ever have the chance to ask you.
Yeah, it just seemed like a good compliment to the show. Everyone sticks around for it too, so they must be they must like it too. I don't shy away from any questions. It's all legal, so it's been pretty wild.
What has been the strangest question that you've been asked so far in the Q&As that you've done on the Stripped Down Tour?
One woman asked me if I knew where the Malaysian flight was.
I'm going to assume you don't know. You don't know where it is, do you?
I do, but I'm not going to tell you.
Joined on the phone by Rick Springfield, the Stripped Down Tour, May 8th at the Bell Mayhew Auditorium. Tickets on sale right now. Now, you're actually at work on a new album. You've got a new album on the way. Will we hear any of the new tunes on the Stripped Down Tour show?
Yeah, I'm doing one, actually. We're going to be adding more to as the album gets near release. It's done. It's pretty much finished. We're just mixing it now, and I'm really, really, really excited about it.
When do you expect to have that new album out?
I think about a month. I have a movie coming out on August, and we're going to kind of time it maybe just a little bit before that, because there's going to be a press on the movie, so we'll have some new songs to sing.
Now, you've been at this for quite some time now, 30, 40 years. How do you approach the writing process? Is it any different now than maybe it was back when you first got going?
I think I'm a little more open to writing with others than I was originally. Originally, I thought it was, all the early stuff I wrote by myself, and it was satisfying, but it can be kind of torturous. And I have a great writing partner now, Matt Bismarck, and he helps speed the process up. I don't linger so long on ideas. And I've been writing with a couple other people. I wrote one of the new songs on the album I wrote with Jay DeMarcus from Rascal Flatts. Another song I wrote with J.T. Harden, who's a very successful Nashville writer. So that I've opened myself up to other possibilities, and we've got some great songs out of it too.
Do you feel at all like you're writing for a different audience than maybe you were when you first got going?
No, I think basically it's, everyone's grown up, and there's definitely, I've been listening to a lot of country lately, because that's really where pop has gone, Those guys, Jay was saying, they used to listen to me and artists like me, when they were growing up. And that's kind of gone country now, and the new record has a kind of a leaning and a nod towards that.
Outside of the Stripped Down tour, the new album, everything else you got going on, you're still acting. You popped up on Family Guy and Californication. You did the Sound City documentary. How cool was it as not only a musician but as a fan to see yourself up there with all of the rock and roll heavy hitters on that Sound City documentary, which a ton of people ended up seeing? Yeah,
it was a great experience. And having a song on the same record as Paul McCartney is pretty mind-bending. I have other acting stuff. I just did a movie with Meryl Streep and Kevin Kline with Ricky and the Flash that's coming out in August. And got an arc on True Detective, this second season that will start, I think, around June.
And I was going to ask you about True Detective because the show had its first season, Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, and it was a really, really big deal. Now you're getting involved with it. I know it's a relatively secretive show. Can you tell us anything about how you're involved in the show?
I could, but you'd probably find my body floating in the LA River the next morning. But, you're right, it's secretive. It's run by the CIA, I think. But it's a great script and pretty crazy stuff. I think everyone will be surprised.
That show debuting in June, and then you mentioned you have a movie coming out with Meryl Streep and Kevin Kline called Ricky and the Flash. Was it intimidating at all sharing the set with Meryl Streep? I mean, she's arguably the greatest actress of at least this generation, if not ever.
Yeah, it was at first, but she's very welcoming and understands how she has, so she doesn't never uses it she only uses it to bring people in, so it's a pretty spectacular person.
Can you give us a quick synopsis about Ricky and the Flash?
She's an aging rock singer who came to L.A., left her family, come to L.A. to make it, and it ended up in a top 40 band with me. I play her boyfriend, and she has a moment to go back and make amends with the family she left. It's actually a really great story. Kevin Kline plays her ex-husband, and Diablo Cody, who wrote the screenplay. Jonathan Demme directed, who directed Silence of the Lambs and Back to the Mob. Stuff makes sense. A lot of great films.
Ricky and the Flash going to be out in August, and if that wasn't enough, you've got touring, you've got albums, you've got acting. You also wrote a book last year, Magnificent Vibration, which debuted in the New York Times bestseller list. How cool is that to be able to write a novel and then, hey, Rick Springfield's a New York Times bestseller?
Yeah, it was great. I'm working on a follow-up to that, too. So they're going to release the paperback version of Magnificent Vibration, I think, around the same time as the movie. Everyone's looking to ride the coattails of the movie publicity.
You realize that with you doing all this stuff, you make a lot of us look very, very lazy, right?
I have ADD. I have to do stuff like that. And my depression forces me to continue to work.
Rick Springfield going to be at the Belle Mayhew Auditorium May 8th, the Stripped Down Tour. Now, Rick, with everything you've accomplished, the books and the albums and the tours and the movies and the television, is there anything out there yet that you haven't done that you really, really want to do?
Yes, I put my name on Mars One mission, hoping to score that.
That's one last thing, one last bucket list thing for Rick Springfield to check off.
Yeah, it would be the last thing I'd ever do, for sure.
Rick Springfield will be at the Belle Mayhew Auditorium coming up on Friday, May 8th, the Stripped Down Tour. You got to stick around for the question and answer session after the show. Rick, everyone is super excited for the show, and we can't wait to see you in a few days.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it.